Hello, Collective. Welcome to Energy Healing Oracle 555. As you can see, I have literally boxed myself in. I am moving in like 4 days. 4 days. I'm fine. It's fine. I'll be fine. No, I've got a lot of help. I'll be good. But I have been stalling on doing this reading. Divine is funny. Always has a sense of humor, and it's literally, it's like I've been waiting to literally feel like I'm in the jungle before I will do the reading that I've been planning to do, which is basically the Wild Kingdom reading. Cue elephant noise. Yes, so I'm gonna start out just with what I have, because I don't know where anything is packed other than things that I have in front of me. So I feel like I like starting off with the pendulum, and my intention was to channel for anyone who is on a healing journey, or perhaps on a journey to transition into a healing profession. So we're going to see what Spirit has to say. And thank you for this tool to make my life a little bit easier right now. Okay. Divine, is this going to be about people looking for healing? Spirit looks like you're doing a circle. It is. You're doing a circle. Okay, so where do you want me to move? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Spirit, is this going to be about people wanting a change to a healing journey? It says rephrase. Get it in your mind, Kelly. Is this for people wanting to engage in healing practices? Now you're circling backwards. Interesting. Okay, we could read that in two ways. One, somebody's laughing at me. And number two, when you use a pendulum when you're doing Reiki as a tool, you go over top of someone's body and you wait for it to circle like that, right? And then when whatever area is done clearing, yeah, it goes like that. And show me how you tell me it's cleared. What happens when it's cleared and I should move on? Right. Oh, come on. Or you could just be still. What? Oh, okay. Okay. Fair enough. I've got a huge quartz crystal, and something is saying, this thing has been sitting around your house. Would you just clear this frickin' thing before you move? Fair enough. See? This is how I can clear items, jewelry, crystals, either directly with Reiki or with a pendulum. There's a reason I put this on my table today. Okay, my hand's gonna get tired. All right, we finished? Are we finished? Yeah, and then it spins the other way. Thank you. Actually, that was a really good example. See, it's spinning the opposite way now. We're done. Okay. So to go back to the question I asked, if this was about somebody wanting a healing journey, and it started spinning clockwise, and then it started spinning counterclockwise, so that would be a yes and a no. Way to make it complicated when it wasn't supposed to be. As I'm saying, thank you for making it simpler. See, sense of humor. Anyways, so when I started doing Reiki, as I started to talk about with my pendulum, that was when I got my first totem card. What do we have, dear? dear, one of my first totems. It was very easy for me to get into the language of totems or spirit animals. When you look at First Nations populations, they're very obviously connected to nature. If we think about totem poles, if we think about oral stories, the way that things were passed on from generation through generation, it was obviously hugely nature themed, animal themed, which makes sense. There's a raccoon outside. I live in a great part of Toronto, across from a park, and for the last week or so, this woodpecker has been going to town on a tree that's obviously in its last little bit of life and probably finding magnificent worms in it. Knock, 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 knock. I have a great story about woodpeckers. If I have time, I'll tell you about that in the end. Yeah, I hear a raccoon chirping out there. Anyways, I started working with totems the same time I started working with Reiki, and it was a nice way for spirit to kind of introduce me to the way that things could be done spiritually. And when you start connecting with spirit, and it presents in the form of a particular animal, that's a totem. That's something you can work with. And once you are aware of it, it shows up in your life. So I have a great example of that as I was packing up, going through all the bits and bobs. Oh, there's the zebra. I didn't notice that one. Balance. Okay. So, and the panda. Didn't notice that when I looked at this. What I noticed was in this little book of stickers that I got for my kid when he was little was the rhino and the buffalo. So the rhino, I didn't get in contact with him until I had finished working retail after my wife had passed away and was thinking about reopening my energy healing practice. So, of course, I happened to be going by the Inner Arts Collective when they were having a showing, which they only did by appointment. So someone had an appointment and I breezed in behind them. And then I was standing waiting for the streetcar at Broadview and Danforth. And someone had put a sticker with a rhino on a newspaper stand next to the bus station. And I thought, rhino? That's interesting. What the heck could that be telling me? So this was why I wanted to explain this is the thought process that I went on, that I go on when I'm introduced with a new totem, a new animal. And it's like, okay, so when I think about a rhino, what's the significance of its physical capacity? It's like a tank on legs. Honestly, you do not get in between a rhino and whatever it is charging at. Tank on legs. So, but it's not just that it's strong and it's sturdy, it's grounded. It is 4 legs on the ground. It's like a tank rolling, getting going, creating momentum and strength and groundedness to put behind that single horn. And it's the single horn that was the thing for me. It was like, this is it. If you need a sign, Kelly, knock, 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 this is it. Okay, I get it. So I opened up my practice again, and it was the single focus. And in the last little bit, when I've been trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do now that my hands aren't really cooperating anymore for reflexology, I was standing waiting for a bus again, and a car went by, and its logo was a rhino. I'm like, are we back to this now? You're telling me what to do now? And before, obviously, I hadn't been getting it because in all the tarot readings that I've been reading and have been popping up was the unicorn. And obviously that was too subtle and airy-fairy for me. You know, it made sense. I'm a fantasy writer, so of course. But no, I was packing and the rhino showed up again. And then it was like, and if that is not clear enough for you, buffalo. 2 horns. Do you need 2 horns so that the message is clear now? The message is not this is it, but it's also this is the one thing. You're doing too many things, one thing at a time, and I've been resisting that. I'm going, I'm packing, but I could do this. And I'm packing, but I could also do this. Oh, no, not possible. Back to packing. Good thing I have help. So yeah, that was just very, very clear. At least, you know, the universe is not frustrated with me. And then of course, I guess balance has been achieved because we have the black and white panda that I didn't see when I was packing, and the black and white zebra that I didn't see while I was packing. So I think I'm going to probably stick these on my head so that I can see them every time I look in the mirror. Backwards. So, and when I think this is the right time to do this reading, because as I was setting up in my head the song, welcome to the jungle, it gets worse here every day. We learn to live like an animal in the jungle where we play. Yeah. Okay, I guess I'm channeling for people on a healing journey. Let's just leave it at that and see what happens, because I've got 3 animal decks here that we are going to, this was precipitated by me finding this gorgeous new animal deck. Yeah, hello. Of course you did, elephant. If you're talking about Eastern Indian religions, Ganesh, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha is the invocation for Ganesh, the remover of obstacles, or the animal totem, the remover of obstacles. Memory, I feel like I'm drowning in memory. You know, almost 8 years of living here and then moving on to a palace in the sky. Resolve, overcome any obstacles. That's a nice way to start off. Thank you. Okay, let's pull some more. Yeah, I have a ton of totems. I just, as my Reiki master said to me once, Kelly, you don't have a totem, you have an arc. Like pretty much you work with whatever presents to you, and that makes sense, because it's like, of course I can. If it wants to present itself to me, it knows that I speak this language. You know, I have lived with my copy of animal speak for years and years and years. It's like, just if I don't have the card on hand, oh, I'll just look it up in the book. Whale has been coming up too. Soul's path, sensitivity. This is more the orca. When I was working with it, the orca was like, it lives and gets information about the world through its skin. So sound, sensitivity, but specifically the whale's soul's path, honor your soul's purpose. So whatever you're doing, you know that you can overcome any obstacle, but make sure the direction you're going is in your soul's path, because then you're working the path of least resistance. And that's always, sometimes it's hard to find that soul's purpose, that divine purpose or soul's path. But once you listen to, those messages in your intuition, you get closer and closer, and then you find it, and things just have a way of sorting themselves out sometimes. And then swan, grace, appreciate the beauty inside and all around you. And I've been seeing a lot of swans. Over Easter, I was at my mom's in Brighton, and there's a pair of swans on a little lake down from her house, and they mate for life. So I could be channeling some twin flames here, maybe, or maybe you're just the divine feminine or divine masculine looking for your soul's path, because that's what you're supposed to do as a divine. Do I want to work with 3 or 4? 4, okay. Hey, interesting. Horse has come out, but it's a white horse. Looks awfully like that unicorn that I've been seeing everywhere. And a horse is freedom, which makes sense because what helped expand Western civilization was the capacity for people to get on a horse and go, whether it's in a chariot or a coach or whatever. A coach. My words are escaping me. Cart, a horse and cart. You always have a choice. Interesting. Yes, divine is there to help take obstacles out of our way and for us to find our soul's path. But for us to do that, we have to choose that. If we don't choose that, if we don't ask for help, because we have free will, which is freedom or free will, same thing. If you want help, you got to ask for it, because divine is not going to step into your life and muck around while you're not looking. But if you can connect to whatever you find supportive and loving and helpful, then all that stuff will be invited into your life, just like totems. Say I wanted to work with the elephant, and that's when chanting, I did a mantra meditation, a 30-day mantra meditation, and I loved it. And the one that I still use the most is while I'm sitting in a cabin going, oh my God, we need to get there faster. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Light turn green, light turn green. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I guess it depends on the amount of calmness I'm able to channel in that moment. Okay, so we have elephant, we have whale, we have swan, and we have horse. Should I choose another? Yeah, I'll do another deck. So this was a second. I had a second animal deck, and I gave it to my niece, because as much as I love doing this, I also love passing on decks when it's time for them to find their next rightful owner. Kind of, should I take that? Okay, one fell out there as I was shuffling, so face down. Oh, I found a better way of shuffling to kind of help my hands. And I'm not gonna look, I'm just gonna do this, maybe one more. And what I'm doing is, oh, I looked. Keeper of secrets, links. Take time out from the world and be the observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowledge. You see others' secrets and keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you will find your strength. Well, it feels like in silence and solitude, I kind of have been, not, my mobility is not so great right now with the fibro. So that's okay. It'll get better. Links, my gosh. I don't have a personal experience with links, but my late partner did. She was up in the Yukon in the cadets program, and she was walking down a road, and all of a sudden a lynx or a bobcat came out of the bush, walked up to her, and rubbed her leg like he thought he was some sort of house cat, and kept walking. And I'm sure my partner probably stood there for a good 5-10 minutes thanking her lucky stars. Crazy. Crazy. Like the totem literally marked her. There are other stories, but I looked up links right after she told me that story. Okay. Oh, we got 4 right there. Put this off to this. Okay. Okay. Oh man, it's going to be another one of these. Horse. Wow. Imagine that. Freedom. Your heart is pure and free. A greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams, which is really interesting because this horse is pointing out the fact of you have a choice. But this particular card, yeah, this one looks a lot more like kind of sedate, magical-esque unicorn. But this one really looks like it's living its best life. And just the fact that we're talking about the soul's purpose, but it's more actively going towards it. It's more like the whale, because the whale is saying you have a purpose, go towards it, and the horse is saying I'm going. So that definitely confirms that. And then we want another sea animal. We have dolphin. Play. Swim in the happy joy of living. Inhale confidence and exhale fear. Dive into your wisdom. Go with the flow. Well, obviously that goes right under whale, another creature that observes the world through the feelings in its skin, and connects and navigates through echolocation. But dolphin is about playfulness. So it's not just honoring your soul's purpose, but it's also finding the joy. Like, where are you finding, take a little, do a little intake of life right now, and how often are we finding the joy in life? Because if we're not, then that's something to look at, because if there are things that are robbing you of your joy, maybe it's time, to take a different stance on something. Okay. So we have squirrel. Oh, and it is always prepared. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing for everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future, and life will give you all you need. Interesting. So that's like, taking the leap of faith. You can be prepared. Obviously, it's always good to be prepared. I should be sometimes more prepared than not. I could learn from the squirrel. Yeah, but at the same time, the way that people typify ADHD is, so now I'm going to talk about the squirrel. What was I saying? So it's actually ironic that it's talking about the squirrel as working hard, playing hard, and not letting life's distractions take you off course. Squirrel. I don't know about that one. This deck does not have a book. So I'm going to challenge that and see what else we can learn about squirrel that this deck is not telling us. Because I can tell you, not letting life distract me is like a daily struggle. Seriously. Hence me doing this reading like a million years later. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. See, there you are. 108. 108. I'm not going to be off course by looking up an angel number 108, but you can look one up if you want. One thing at a time, right? Raccoon. Oh, no, don't look. Snake. Squirrel. Feel the anticipation of what you know is coming. Get everything ready and in place. This can be a new job, a new relationship, or a major move. There will no doubt be challenges, but you can prepare for them in a number of ways. The most important kind of readiness has to do with your mind. How smoothly you move through these changes is totally dependent on your attitude, thoughts, and beliefs. There's no need to scurry, no need to worry, no need to rhyme. Rather than rush, make each movement count. If you worry, it will just make everything a lot harder. Just do what you have to do to prepare. I think the squirrel and the rhino, as odd as that seems, are buddies. One thing at a time. I rest my case. Make each movement count. I've thought about that before. Don't get so bogged down in making list after list. This can help, but at this time it's better to stay active, focused, and purposeful in your efforts. Get a sense of where you're going, even if you may change course later. Rely on family and close friends for support before and during this transition. And most important, keep breathing. Okay, so breathing is also something else that has come into play. So the dolphin talked about inhale, exhale, and I've heard it somewhere. It's either impossible or quite difficult to be anxious while you're doing breath work. So breath work is probably significant for me, as in meditation, as in it's not about losing focus. It's about putting yourself back on track when you get unfocused. So distraction is going to happen to everybody. And for some people who are neurodivergent or neurospicy, however you want to title that, are going to find it more difficult. So I guess just be prepared and have some plans. Oh God, I just did that to myself. Be prepared and have things in place to reel you back into reality, such as going to bed on time and doing your meditation and doing your breath work and listening to music, doing yoga, doing art, doing a puzzle, coloring, going out for a run, gardening, whatever it is. You can count on distractions to be, to appear, but you can also plan for them. So my practice of doing one thing at a time, the squirrel rests his case. He is pounding his tiny gavel and preparing to throw nuts at the tamarins. Narnia. Can throw. Sorry. That scene vividly came back to me in Narnia. It was Prince Caspian, and the book, it was the Silver Chair, but it's not called the Silver Chair. I believe it's the second Narnia movie, where they're called back, and Prince Caspian finds the Narnians all hiding out in the woods, and they're trying to make a plan, and the squirrel's fabulous plan is to, yes, we can collect nuts and throw them at the tamarins. Thank you for your input. It is highly valued. Yes, go collect your nuts. Oh, and here's Swan. Okay, Swan is right next to Squirrel. Look up at the stars tonight. Smell the fragrances in the air. Greet the sunrise tomorrow. I don't want to get up for the sunrise. Really? We're back to this? Damn it. A lovely tarot reader feels like many months ago said, get up and watch the sunrise. And I was like, no! There must be something happening. There's a break in our connection. I can't hear you anymore. I hate that. Oh, greet the sunrise tomorrow. Hear the of Mother Nature's creatures as she awakens for the day. Look and really see the beauty and elegance of everything, from the tiniest leaf to the most gigantic tree and all that's in between. Don't judge what you see or experience as good or bad. Instead, appreciate the precious uniqueness of the diverse elements that make up this wonderful world in which we exist. You really need to get outdoors in nature to deepen this experience of appreciation. Mother Earth is your true mother. You're birthed from her through your biological mother. Honor her by simply reveling in the remarkable tapestry of her diverse expressions. And as you do, breathe deeply and slowly. You and your world are intimately interwoven, and you're alive in that world. Appreciate your own beauty and the magnificent being that you are as you revel in the elegant exquisiteness of all that you see, hear, and feel. Damn it. And the last card we have is Happiness, the little otter. Ugh, I don't know about you, but I've been finding, people who have otters as pets are so freaking cute. Okay, be the master of playful living. Release expectations and enjoy every day. Let worry go and instead choose love. Surrender to the waves. Your good destiny of love is sure. Well, everybody is loved. And the love that everyone most wants is the love from self. So maybe that's a good conclusion of happiness. Having a destiny of love is having a destiny to love the self. You just need to get there. Apparently getting up to see the sunrise. Okay, someone's definitely laughing at me now. Okay, I'm going to see what this other card was. Someone give me back my dignity. Nobility. The elk. I read a novel about an elk called The Nesting by C.J. Cook. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. Interesting. Well, I would swap this out and put this under elephant, and I'm going to treat the squirrel as squirrel. No, just kidding. I'm sorry. But I'll put you over here. You are still valued, squirrel. Go collect your nuts. On to the next deck. Out of the box. Thank you. All right. Now, this one I just picked up. Woodland Wardens. So wardens, or there's some poems in the early days when I was really looking at my relationship with totems. I wrote a lot of poetry about my totems, which was a way for me to just kind of channel their natural instincts, to kind of experiment with it, explore it. And I looked at them as wardens or guardians, and I wrote a poem. I'll see if I can find it and I can attach it below in a post, but it was called Threshold Guardians. And a Threshold Guardian is just that, someone that is kind of standing there waiting for you to kind of level up, to get to this next level, to cross a boundary and move into your, to level up and move into your next phase of growth or whatever that is. Which is what totems are. I just really look at totems being, I mean, you know, I just very much associated totems with Threshold Guardians. But this deck by Jessica Rue, the neat thing about her is that she took a boar, for example, 2 horns, and she paired it with a flora or a fauna. So we have boar and pumpkin. So, oh, balance. So the way that she did that was that some aspects or guidance, wisdom from one element, which would be the totem, and then a counterpart or a balancing botanical to temper that, to kind of create the whole message of whatever that card is. And I'm at about 36 minutes thinking I should have been in bed a while ago. And oh, there's the elk. And it's with ash. Elk and ash. Do I just take that? Yes, okay. Okay, so I'll look up. Okay. See? Squirrel! Change mid-course. Go with the flow. That's how, you know, spirit gets messages to you. You just have to be open to listening for things that just kind of land in your head, and you can go, huh? What was that? You can get the answer again and check in with your gut. And ow, hands that hold groceries today. There, that's better. Okay, so we have elk. Let's see what else we have. Who else wants to come and play? Welcome to the jungle. Must be a less antagonistic song about animals. The birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. I don't know if that's better. Ah! What do we have? Ooh, the hare and the oak. New opportunities. I'm going to put that under horse and freedom. Yeah, we can definitely talk about oak. Yeah, that's the other thing I'd like to get more decks about. Trees in particular. This tree medicine is fantastic. I have it's packed, but I have a Celtic tree, a book about the Celtic tree calendar and tree medicine. 2 more? Can we get 2 more to add to this spread? Please, oh please. Thank you very much. Ow. This is why I like the pocket decks. But this was too beautiful to pass up. So... Ooh, okay. Yes? No. Yes. No or yes? Okay. I'm just waiting for the answer in my head. Yes. Oh. Oh. The quail. And gooseberry. Quails are delicious. Sorry. I'm sorry. Uh, anticipation. We had the word anticipation somewhere. Where was that? Was it the horse? Every day instead of da, da, da. Huh. Okay, well, I'm going to stick you under whale for the moment. Cannot make this shit up. No, sir. Oh, damn, that's funny. Boar and pumpkin. If you didn't get the hint the first time, not two things at a time. One, Kelly. One thing at a freaking time. Learn your lesson. Okay. So, I promised I would look up the elk. Let's see. Where's the elk? It is... Huh. I might stitch this together. Raccoon, beaver, ow. Not yet. There's the boar. 6, 7, 8, 8. It's under, oh, there's the hair. Just bookmark that baby. There. Okay. Strength. Elk. Elk are colossal creatures crowned with substantial antlers. And yeah, I was going to say, in a way, it reminds me of moose. And the moose totem is, you know what's best for you. But living in Canada, the way that, not that I've run into a moose when I've been driving, but the way that my young drivers, yeah, I've always liked teachers who tell stories. That's very me as a writer. And her, you know, this is, I think her name was her name Kelly as well? Maybe. Her rule was, you're driving down the highway, through the mountains maybe, and you see an animal. If you can see over the animal, and you have to, you keep going. If you can see under the animal, you stop. And you wait until whatever beast is in front of you on the highway that could total your car, you wait. And I think this happened to my sister. Yeah, I think there was a moose, and she brought that car to a halt, and she waited until that moose was good and ready. So it's like, yeah, it's like it brings you back to the power of nature. Like, honestly, I mean, I think if I was in Africa, for example, and I ran into a rhino on the highway, I would be a lot more scared than I would be if I ran into a moose, because a moose would be somewhat, you know, normal. They're big. Like, yeah, my partner and I went on a trip to the Halliburton Highlands. That was our last vacation. And we went to, oh God, we went to the wolf sanctuary. And they had just had They had just had pups. And there were I have a picture somewhere nearby. I have a picture of one of the baby wolves, one of the pups. I don't know where it is. Maybe I can post it later. Oh God, and they were just all in the sun, just no knowledge that anybody else was there. And I just stood there and I cried. That's how much of a totem geek I was. It was just all these beautiful baby wolves. That's not the point. The point was there was also a moose at this sanctuary, and the moose came to them because its mother had been killed somewhere on the highway, and there was 2 moose. There was a brother and a sister, and I don't know which this was. The other one had passed away getting to the sanctuary, and the other had grown up there. And this was a baby. The picture of that moose is somewhere in this house as well. Didn't have its antlers or anything yet, but its nose was up to my nose. And of course, a moose, its nose starts here just like a horse, and it goes up. So this baby was a freaking huge baby, and it was a baby. Well, shit, yeah. You don't push a moose around. Same. You don't push an elk around. I guess for that, really, you don't push a rhino or an elephant around either, because they're big and they hurt people. They could hurt people if you piss them off. And that's the kind of nobility or resolve or internal strength that this type of totem could be trying to connect you to. So that is standing in your power. You doing what you need to do so the people in your life know that you're not to be trifled with. I will love you. I will listen to you. I will respect you. But you have to respect you enough so that if that is not the way that you are being treated, to love yourself and to say no. No, because not doing that damages you. Not standing in your power, not standing up for yourself damages you. And you are the one who will pay the price for that in the long run. So that's what loving yourself more means. That's what knowing what is best for you means. So, whew, I got chills. Whew. So, okay, so let's read more. Let's see. Known to cover great distances over difficult terrain, they are symbols of strength and endurance. Likewise, so ash, which is what it's paired with, ash trees are sturdy and resolute and able to flourish even in harsh environments. I'm going to learn. So upright, yes. Well, I don't really take reversals right. I think I'm not that elastic yet, flexible. So we're just going to say upright. You are called to gather your strength ahead of a challenge. Are you in league with the squirrel? Honestly. The squirrel just climbed up the ash tree. Damn it. I mean, thank you. Gather your strength. Ahead of a challenge, face it with confidence in your own stamina. Tame any unruly elements that try to derail you. Get out of here, you unruly element. Don't you derail me. That's very odd. Am I prepared to face upcoming challenges? These ask questions. Are you prepared? How does inner strength differ from outer strength? And what situations call for each? That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, owning your own power. You can be Mighty Mouse and have that power, because internal power has no limits. Energetic power has no limits, other than which you put on yourself. Physical is easier, because physical can be more maintainable. But inner strength, sometimes that's hard to find. It's hard to see in yourself, in others. So interesting. Okay. And then we have quail. Let's look that up. See if I can find that quicker this time. Oh, it's the last one. Well, that makes it easier. No Roman numerals for me. Well, I guess that should be obvious because it is a Q. Anyways, anticipation. Fresh gooseberries are a tempting treat, but pick them without care and you might hurt yourself. Ooh. And this is the anticipation card? Gooseberry bushes are loaded with thorns, meant to protect the delicate fruit within. Similarly, the quail anticipates danger by hiding among low-growing vegetation. This is not something a moose can do. From its obscured perch, it keeps careful watch, monitoring for predators. Upright. The event or outcome you've anticipated is about to occur. Take advantage of your foreknowledge, preparing for what's to come. Well, that's not ominous. Affirmations are, I am often surprised. Oh, no, sorry, no, it's not an affirmation. Affirmation. Okay, maybe it is offering you something. An affirmation does offer you something. But the question is, am I often surprised or caught off guard by how things turn out? That's a really good question. Because I think sometimes if I'm paying attention, I don't get caught off guard. And when I'm paying attention, it's usually because I've slowed down. I am trying to do one thing at a time, and I'm not squirreling myself through life, jumping from tree to tree, wanting to throw nuts at the tamarins. Yeah, that's interesting. And how can I balance vigilance with a healthy openness to risk? That's very interesting. What's the reverse? Just for shits and giggles. You've made a mistake that has put you in danger. Use this experience to better guard against the outcome in the future. Okay, well, taking an honest look at the things that have happened in your life, you could apply both of these things. So have there been things in your past where you realized that you were not vigilant enough with your level of safety? And how can I learn from this experience? Because the honest truth is, whatever situation it is, you always, always have a choice. Yeah, this horse. So whatever the situation is, you always have a choice to say, what was the wisdom in this? Because there will always be wisdom in it, because this is why I believe we are here. Earth is a school. Not everybody likes school. I had to say, not everybody likes school, but doesn't mean that you don't have to be here. If you weren't here, you'd be, I don't know, somewhere else, not having to learn and grow. But learning and growing is hard, and learning and growing is difficult, and it's not going to be easy all of the time. But honestly, whoever said, oh, I guess I'll change all of my life because things are perfect? No, we're stubborn and often don't want to change unless we're forced. And a lot of the time that change is for our own good. But even if it's for our own good, sometimes that makes us dig our heels in harder. Nope. Don't wanna. Don't wanna. And if we don't wanna, we don't get any of the benefits of the growth on the other side of that decision for ourselves or for other people. And then you're stuck. So I guess the question is it more uncomfortable to change, or is it more uncomfortable to remain stuck? And I'm thinking about, I don't know who the quote was, and it was one person saying to another, but what if I fall? And the answer to this is, oh, my darling, but what if you fly? And again, one of my first favorite totem readers was talking about a butterfly that had hung a cocoon on her garage door, and she just kind of watched it and was worried about this little life inside this cocoon. And when it came out, it apparently hung on to its cocoon for days, and she was like worried, like, like, does this need a butterfly psychologist? Do I need to call someone? If you have no idea why you're going into a cocoon and, letting every cell of your body break down so that you can become something completely new, sure, it would probably scare the hell out of you. And then your instinct, your internal intuitiveness is telling you to fly with the wings that have suddenly grown on your back. What? Change is not easy. It's like, okay, I'll say it. So soul path journeys get easier after you've done a hell of a lot of work. And once that butterfly took to the skies, yeah, I bet things got a hell of a lot easier. But what it took leading up to that change, that growth, that was where the blood and the sweat and the tears were. So, yeah, I have definitely been through the blood, sweat, tears, many stages of my life through, different experiences of loss and grief and what have you. Earth is a school, and that's what we're here to experience, because otherwise, we know ourselves. If it was easy, we wouldn't grow, because there would be no pressure on us to grow, or there'd be no motivation for us to want to grow. So there would be no pressure internally or externally. We have to want it, and we have to have situations in our life push us to do it. And when both of those things happen, it's like we're squeezed. The inner motivation, the outside environment pushing us to do it, and then finally we just get up and say, fine, I'll do it. And this kind of stuff will come into play when we look up the last card, the hare and the oak. But now, to get right to the point, or right and left to the points, we're going to look up boar and pumpkin, which, similarly to Q, should be at the front of the book. In my brain. Oh, I love these. They're so cute. Wait. No, I didn't. That's bear. Oh, right, they're not alphabetical. Just confusing me on purpose. Oh, here it is. Okay. Never mind. Confidence. Confidence. With their winding vines and large, heavily seeded fruit, pumpkins signify abundance and health and resilience. All very good things. Pumpkin soup is also awesome, especially when it's with a little bit of apple, a little bit of curry, some squash. Meanwhile, the fierce and intelligent boar is known for its sharp tusks and aggressive movements. Combined, the boar and the pumpkin embody self-assurance. So, self-assurance, confidence, very integrated with personal power, because when you are in your power, you automatically seem and feel more confident. So that makes sense. In the upright, your confidence is well-founded. Any insults or attempts to damage your morale will roll off your back, just like the dolphin. You are thick-skinned. Ooh, I felt that in my spine. Ooh. Posture. Okay, so this is a postural thing too. So I am a reflexologist, but my hands kind of threw in the towel a bit. But yeah, I mean, confidence, it does have a lot to do with stature, and the way that I learned to sit on a stool for 3 or 4 hours when I was doing work on clients, I had to learn to protect my back and my whole alignment while I was working. So the way that I did that is I just made it a habit, and I trained my body. So I brought in my abdomen and just, see, I'm breathing naturally, but I'm just holding that muscle. That muscle is holding everything in. And then I visualized a pencil between my shoulder blades. And this was the posture of protecting my body. But this kind of posture is also very indicative of confidence. You're not like that. You're up like, no, I'm in my body, I'm in my power, and I'm in my spine. Like, I literally have a stronger backbone when I'm in my confidence. So there's something about being in your personal power and feeling it in your spine. Okay, so yeah, we have a crossover now. I'm just getting that. So I went to Egypt, and at that point, I was studying with a priestess who is in the UK, and I was working on looking at the different archetypes of goddesses. So when I went on this big Queens, Heroines, and goddesses tour of Egypt, we were very focused on Isis, on Hathor, on Sekhmet. Now Sekhmet is the cat goddess, and I got this very particular feeling when I went to Luxor, when I was standing in front of images of her, and I after learning to do Reiki, I really started to use my body as an instrument, in that particular sensations in my body would tell me how I was connecting with this other person or thing. And I would stand in front of the statues of Sekhmet, and all of a sudden I would go whoop, and it was like I was sitting on that stool and very, very aware of my spine. And that was you know, that was one way that the cougar totem, that is one of my main 3 totems, that's the feeling that I get when I work with my cougar totem, because my cougar totem, you know, will, just like that lynx, will go face to face with me and say, I love you, but I am not going to let you walk down that path. You're at a fork in the road, and just so you know, you're going that way. That's love. that's fierce. That's fierce love. So you can have that fierce love for yourself. And Segment, as I was communing with that goddess, was hitching on to that familiar sensation I had in my body to do with my spine. Yeah, because I think I asked early on, my Reiki master said, what does it feel like when your cougar totem is with you? And it was about my spine. I felt it in my spine. So I connected that to the idea of Segment. So when I was standing in front of the statue of Segment, I felt that same thing. It was about power. It was about my power and noticing when it was there and noticing when it's not. So now part of my journey has been to be very cognizant of when I'm in my power and when I'm not, when I'm feeling big and when I'm feeling small, and to notice that because it's important. So I just got that energy off of Boar, and felt I had to kind of say something about that. And the reverse, interesting, the reverse is interesting information as well. If it were in reverse, it would be, your fearlessness may lead you into dangerous territory. Take a step back and reassess. You can remain confident while taking time to be scrupulous. Interesting. So that means, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with fearlessness, but it shouldn't, I guess, come at the price of discernment. So sure, you can be fearless about something, you can take the risk, but don't make it a blind risk. You can still assess the situation standing over here just as well as here. You know, when you're nose to nose with danger. Decide over here. You know, give yourself time to weigh in and say, is it or isn't it? Yes or no? And don't let anybody rush your decision, because that would be giving away your power. And you don't want to do that. Like, if you've assumed a position of power, if you're taking care of yourself, if you're being mindful of your own safety, no one should want to deprive you of the right to choose the best thing for you as a person. Just as everyone has that right. So if you're saying, I want that right to choose what's best for me, the best outcome would be for, say, another person to say, okay, because I would like to do the same thing, because I have the same, everyone has the same right to choose. You know, this is not a one-way street. But not everybody makes a choice in the moment to protect themselves. And that's how people get themselves into sticky situations. And then they have to learn a lesson all over again about, you know, how important boundaries are. And I just frickin' took the card out of Hair and Oak. That's okay. It's up here soon. At the top here. Yes. So finally we get to Hair, which is new opportunities. And we were talking about, yes, we were talking about ash and the qualities of ash. And Oak have similar qualities that I'm very familiar with. At my son's first school, there were these tremendous oaks. And I think I've talked about them I just loved them. I just loved dropping them off and going and sitting down and putting my back against these giants. And when I started to study oak, an oak can look like it's doing nothing for a tremendous amount of time, just sitting on its, proverbial laurels, when really what it's doing is internal work as opposed to external work. And I think I was getting the cue of, just because you're sitting at home doing stuff and look like you're not doing a lot of stuff, don't let other people tell you that you're not doing enough. Don't let you tell you that you're not doing enough, because you are. You are preparing. So what an oak does is it takes, a certain amount of time to prepare for growth, and then all of a sudden it'll shoot up, just like a teenage boy. Eating me out of house and home currently. 14, man. Yeah, so opportunities, things that you are preparing for, this is the work that comes before the payoff. The blood, the sweat, and the tears. It takes time to go through the blood and the sweat and the tears to get to, oh, it was just 1111 on the timer as I was, look up 1 or 11 or 111111. Amazing. Yeah, lost. Yeah, there's something about be knowledgeable about the fact that you know what's happening here, that you are preparing to shoot up to the sky. You are preparing to grow. And that's what oak means. You start off as an acorn, and somehow that acorn gets to be this 1,000-year-old gorgeous entity. Now let's read about the hair in comparison to. Oh, you know what I just thought of? We have the hair that's sitting here, and we know, everybody knows about, most people know about the story of the turtle and the hare. We have the hare that's ready to go and sure it's going to win, and we have the oak that's sitting around doing nothing, or at least looking like it's doing nothing, slowly getting ready to win. And the hare's over here going, yeah, I'm gonna win, egotistical maniac, blah, 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 blah. Oh gosh, I'm so tired. I think I'll fall asleep under this ash tree. And the turtle is going, oh look, there's the finish line. So we literally have a balance on one card, a slow grower and a quick grower. I don't know where that's going to lead us, but let's see. Hares are often symbols of fertility and love, associated with the Celtic goddess Estre, Eostre, Estor. I'll have to look her up. I've actually never heard of her. They represent springtime, what's basically on our doorstep right now. A season of birth and abundance. A variety of ancient cultures linked the oak tree with bravery and vitality. In ancient Greece, the oak was revered as a tree sacred to Zeus. In Norse mythology, it represented the tree of life, and in ancient Celtic and Druidic cultures, which I knew about, the oak was associated with the god Dagda. And they would also harvest, the Druids would be in the sacred groves of oaks, and they also, mistletoe was something different. I mean, they harvested mistletoe as well, but yeah, there was a lot of sacredness around the slow ancient growth of oaks. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so the upright position is a celebration of good fortune is in order. If you have been in a caregiving role, this is a reminder that your sacrifices will be repaid. Interesting. So if you've been watching something slowly grow, oh, of course. And yeah, I talked about my 14-year-old who has definitely shot up. Yeah, and it's funny, you know, I mean, because I'm with him all the time, I don't always know the, you know, he goes through those quiet phases where his, you know, his shoes fit, and then like suddenly I notice that he's eating more, and then I'll notice that he's saying something like, "Mom, my feet hurt." Well, it's because your shoes don't fit anymore, and my oak tree has grown. So that's interesting. Okay. And what's the reverse? The reverse is themes of neglect and empty promises abound. Perhaps your hard work isn't paying off in the manner expected. Try connecting with the hare, a creature of great energy and fruitfulness, to power through the difficult times ahead. Oh, okay. Well, I think, I mean, personally, like, I could say I'm a little of both right now. Like, you know, I feel quite stuck and limited in terms of my physical capacity right now, but I'm in that oak stage where I'm preparing to grow. And there might, you know, still be some difficult times ahead, not necessarily out of neglect or empty promises. You know, it may be more about, you know, making promises to myself and making sure that I'm not neglecting myself by doing the things that I'm doing, like connecting more with meditation and starting this channel and making the decision to move, and really being serious about the things that I need to support my own journey. You know, so maybe the question is, where are there things in your life that you're supporting yourself, and where are there ways that you're not supporting yourself? That's interesting. Okay. Well, I feel like that's a lot of that's a lot of information for one to work your way through. If you're still with me, and if you're prepared to kind of look into your life and where these animals, or these animals with these types of animals with these types of with this type of symbolism or meaning, you know, are applicable to you. Hopefully it could be very helpful. So I'm just going to finish the reading with the Green Witch's Oracle deck. So this is a deck that I'm really loving, because it's definitely a connection to my interests in aromatherapy, my knowledge about plants that way, and my desire to learn more about herbs and you know, natural healing in other than through aromatherapy. I do use Bach. I do use Bach infusions, which are you know, herbs that have been distilled that you can take. And actually, as I was, you know, sorting my way through my belongings, I found this, and I found my Bach rescue remedy, which is something you take for shock and, you know, periods of difficulty. And I thought, I'm just gonna stick this one in my back pocket for stressful times during the move. Yeah, I'm always going to know where that is. But I'm just going to finish the deck, and I'm going to ask Spirit if there's any advice to the collective listening to this reading on working through the upcoming challenges in finding, you know, the right path to health, and that one wants to come out. Okay. And can we have 3 more? Whoop! That flew. See? Pocket decks. Easier to handle. It's like a commercial. Ooh, okay, okay. 1, 2, oh. Nice. One more. Ooh. At the end of the day, my hands are getting tired. Oh, oh. Interesting. Okay. Wow. I don't think I've gotten this card before. It's sow, as in like sowing a seed, but it definitely looks like, almost looks like the divine praying over a seed, and like the third eye is open while the other eyes are closed. And this is another one that doesn't have a book with it. It just has words at the bottom, which are planting, setting intentions, and optimism. So I think this is like a call to action kind of thing. So preparing. So always prepare. Find the nut, bury it. Find another nut, bury it. I'm sorry, I'm being mean to squirrel. Find a nut, bury it. But that's what you have to do. You have to, well, don't forget where you bury your, don't forget where you bury your nuts. Don't forget where you bury the seeds, because you have to go back on and check on them. But again, as I've heard other people say, you have to leave it in there to grow. You can't plant it and then come back the next day and go, have you grown yet? No? That won't help. So patience and preparedness. So plant your seeds in a place where you also put like a little stake in the ground and label what the hell it is that you planted, so you can watch it. And then, interestingly enough, we have the sun. It's like in tarot, I'm still learning about tarot. And the sun, I believe, is like, it's like the otter here. It's like the happiness. The star is more wish fulfillment. The sun, I don't know, but there's all these rocks here, all these crystals that are soaking up the rays of the sun, and we have the butterfly, and we did mention the butterfly and the acceptance of change, and the sun is healing energy, happiness, comfort, and joy. Well, yeah, I mean, we hope that as the seed is being sown and growing, that it does experience healing energy and happiness and comfort and joy. I mean, as some seeds are, you know, after they're planted and are growing where they've been planted, not everybody gets that healing energy. Not everybody gets the healing energy or the happiness or the comfort or the joy. And when that doesn't happen, the butterfly has a hard time. It takes a lot longer for that poor caterpillar to change into a butterfly, because it's wounded. And that's quite a healing journey. You know, and my own journey was healing wounds of rejection and being abandoned, or, you know, certain things just gauged from certain experiences that I had to heal myself when I was old enough and I was aware enough that these things were still an issue for me. So, you know, once you're not a child anymore, your wounds are your wounds and they're not your fault. It's what we do with those wounds that becomes our responsibility. So if you are lucky enough to have grown up in a kind of supportive, healthy environment, that's great. Or even if, you know, to some degree you were, that's great too. And if you were not lucky enough to grow up in that way, you're not alone. And there are many ways to approach healing as an adult to be able to be ready to transform into that butterfly. And it's kind of interesting that, and this is why I was giggling as this fell out. Here we have the butterfly. Transformation, joy, beauty, transience. And it's like, if you, I mean, even look at the expression on the face of this entity. It's almost like this is the person that's really trying hard to grow in a bit of a hostile environment. And we all have wounds. We all have wounds. So this is the part of you that's like, that's my wound. I don't like it. But if you can give yourself, give of yourself to yourself now in the present moment, an environment that will allow you to heal, what would that be? What are the things that you need around you in order to help you heal? Because if you can tweak your environment, which could mean your job, which could mean your home, which could mean the people around you, what is it that you need to change to support your healing? And for me, it was the decision to move to an apartment building where I wouldn't have to deal with stairs for a time being, to let my body recover. And that was not an easy decision, but I made it because it's like, I have to put myself first, because if I don't, other people will pay the price, you know, namely my son. And if you can hang on to that, then transformation is possible, because you have to change something before you want. It's like you can't change people. You can't change other people. All you can do is change yourself. All you can do is change your environment, your decisions, the things you are willing to do or not do. And then the people around you will respond. That's the way that you help other people change, is when you decide you want something different for yourself. And it makes the flight of the butterfly possible. And then in a different way, we didn't get the sun over here, or we didn't get the stars over here, but we're getting the star now, but it's star fruit. Interesting. So this could be, the sun could be the happiness, and the star here could be the wish fulfillment, because in tarot, star is wish fulfillment, the thing that you want most. So you have the butterfly that has formed, but you also have whatever was being planted over here has hit abundance, has hit literal fruition. The fruit is now fruitified. That's not a word. Never mind. It's getting late. So we have crystals that look like quartz and star fruit. And there's a little interesting. There's blackberries and blueberries and a strawberry that looks like a heart that has like almost a lightning bolt in the middle of it. It's like lightning strikes once, lightning strikes twice. I don't know. Fruit, achievement, success. 2 words, achievement, success. That's pretty dang simple. Sow the seed, prepare. Prepare for what you want. Decide what you want first, then sow that seed. Then give it a loving environment. The things that, whatever it is that you want, need in order to grow. Then transform. Let the transformation happen. And that is the way that you reach achievement. So we are at about an hour and a half. And just like I feel like Reiki treatments that are like an hour are sometimes way too short. Apparently I feel the same way about oracle card readings, but I would like to say, with pun intended, I think this was a pretty healthy shot at doing a reading about your journey to health and happiness. Yeah, I think, and this is why I like using so many cards, and I'm glad I had so many different decks to play with in terms of wild wisdom, to confirm all the really, really important ways for you to support yourself in your own healing journey. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there, and the next time you see me, I'll be at my new place, setting up a little corner of my apartment to do hopefully consistent oracle card readings. But just for homework, if there was a particular totem that just jumped off the screen at you, look it up. Ask that energy to come into your life, and it will come to you in a song, in a poem, in an image, in a conversation someone's having, in a song. Bearcat just got I forget who sings it. Yeah, do the Bearcat. Sometimes that's the way that divine will give you validation for whatever sign you're looking for, so that you can make a personal connection with whatever that totem is, and it can continue to support you on your journey of wellness, on your journey of healing. So yeah, I mean, I hope to send this message out to more people, to find more folks that are on a healing journey, and and I hope this helps. If any of this resonates, it would be lovely to know. Just affirm this message is yours, and let me know in the comments if anything, if there were particular things that rang true for you, if there are other questions you might want to ask someone who's doing readings for health and healing. Drop a suggestion, because I'm just at the beginning of my journey as an oracle card reader for people in this way, and and if you liked the reading and feel called to, please hit the like button and subscribe, so you're notified the next time. You're notified when I get to my new place and I do my next reading. And if there's anybody out there who is going through a bit of a journey and might appreciate some of the content, please feel free to share. Okay. if you're still with me, thank you so much for coming through this reading. I really do hope it helps, and I hope to do more of it in the future. So take care and have a good one. Bye.